Elizabeth sat alone in her dimly lit office, the clock ticking away the last minutes of a long workday. The fluorescent lights flickered intermittently, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Outside, the rain pounded against the window, a relentless rhythm that matched the unease in her heart. She had always been skeptical of the old building. The rumors whispered by her colleagues about strange occurrences, the inexplicable drafts, the sudden cold spots, the flickering lights had never bothered her. Until now. The ghost stories were just that, stories. But tonight, as the clock struck midnight, Elizabeth felt a chill crawl up her spine. She glanced at the antique mirror hanging on the wall, its silvered surface reflecting her tired eyes. Something moved behind her, a shadow, fleeting and insubstantial. She turned, heart racing, but the room was empty. Just her desk cluttered with paperwork, the ancient computer monitor humming softly. She laughed nervously, blaming her overactive imagination. Too many late nights, too much stress. But then the whispers began. At first, they were faint, like the rustling of leaves outside her window. Elizabeth strained to hear, her breath catching in her throat. The words were indistinct, a language she couldn't place. Ancient, mournful. Elizabeth, the voice murmured, growing louder with each repetition. Elizabeth. She spun around, her chair scraping against the wooden floor. The mirror reflected her own terrified expression, but there was something else, a figure standing behind her. A woman, ethereal and pale, her eyes hollow pits of darkness. Who are you? Elizabeth stammered, her voice barely audible. The ghost stepped closer, her fingers trailing across the mirror's surface. I am Isabella, she whispered. Once like you, trapped in this office, unable to escape. Elizabeth's mind raced. Isabella had worked here decades ago, a brilliant mathematician who had vanished without a trace. The legend said she had become obsessed with an unsolvable equation, one that consumed her sanity. Why are you here? Elizabeth asked, her fear giving way to curiosity. Isabella's eyes bore into hers. The equation, she said. It haunts me still. Solve it, and you'll free us both. Elizabeth hesitated. The equation was infamous, a mathematical enigma that had driven Isabella to madness. But she was a scientist, a problem solver. She pulled up the file on her computer, the symbols dancing before her eyes. Hours passed. The rain continued to beat against the window, the whispers growing louder. Elizabeth's mind blurred, the lines between reality and nightmare blurring. And then, as dawn approached, she saw it, the solution, elegant and terrifying. She typed the final line, her fingers trembling. The room shook, the walls cracking. Isabella's form wavered, her eyes filled with gratitude. Thank you, she mouthed, and then she was gone, leaving only the echo of her name. Elizabeth stumbled out of the office, the morning light blinding. The building would be demolished soon, they said. But she knew the truth, the ghost of Isabella would haunt her forever, a reminder of the price paid for unraveling the mysteries of the universe. And as Elizabeth stepped into the daylight, she wondered if she had truly solved the equation or merely become another chapter in its tragic history.